Today we're going to look at something most people don't mess with, something most people don't know enough about to make that purchase. Hey, it's Don. Today we're going to talk about something many people just don't mess with. We're going to talk about globes, vintage globes. Now, there's many types of globes. Some are worth far more than others. It's pretty easy to date most of the globes as well by the country names marked on them. That's how you can determine pretty much any type of globe, just by looking at the countries. Certain countries didn't exist at certain points, and when you compare one country name to another on when they did change a name or anything like that, you can determine the date on them. Knowing the date is key to valuing them. The older ones or ones with certain countries that don't exist or that only existed for a very short time can be worth a lot of money. Now, there's many types of globes. Most of the standardized ones are what you will find. But there are lunar globes, Mars globes, and things along that line that can sell for some crazy money. This is one made for NASA during the Apollo program. Went for well over $2,000, and it's of the moon. Well-known company as well. It's a 16-inch, which are one of the larger ones that you will find. Finely detailed, a nice example, in excellent condition. Something that may turn up that most people may not realize is that rare or is worth this kind of money. Most of the expensive ones look just like the cheap ones. There's only small factors sometimes that separate some of the cheaper ones from some of the valuable ones. Something like this obviously made for NASA would be much different. They also state that only 200 of these were made. Now, in many categories, age isn't always a factor, but with globes, it usually is. The older ones just don't show up. They're fragile, they were destroyed, damaged, or anything like that. So when one shows up from the 19th century, they can go for some crazy money as well. This is an 1891 Rand McNally and Company 12-inch terrestrial, which is the surface of the globe. Went for $2,000 with its original stand. Now, to a novice, this looks extremely similar to ones that would have been made in the 50s, even into the 60s and 70s. So you've got to pay attention. Most of them, though, are marked with the manufacturer, if nothing else. The rest of it, you will have to determine in some cases by the countries, as I said, by the markings on the globe itself. This one is dated, thank goodness, 1891. Now, here's an example of a 1940s globe I just picked up. You can see the stand, you can see the construction. Now, I can date this between 1944 and 1945 by some of the markings on here. Lebanon is its own country on here, and that didn't happen until 1944. But the Philippines on this one is still part of the U.S. It's still a possession of the United States. After 1946, it was no longer a possession of the U.S. So this one can date to 1944, 1945 because of that. It does have some issues. It's missing a little strip and things like that. People will repair these. They will spend their time and polish these, buff them up, and the whole works. It's well made. It's nice construction on this one, without a doubt. It's a 12-inch globe. It's a nice example. Something someone will buy for decorations as well. Many people just use these for decorations. That's the key to these. It doesn't have to be a usable piece. It just has to look nice or be a good display piece for many people. Decorators buy these as well. Now, here's a 1930s library globe. This has the stand. This was made to be displayed in the library or at a school, for example. Went for well over $1,000 itself. Most of these do come apart to some extent, so you can ship them a little better in a smaller size box. These sorts most people don't want to ship. That's why many of these will still be found out in the wild, because no one wants to ship something like this. They're charging $120 to ship this. It's a fairly big item. Now, most of these I would ship via UPS or something like that. I wouldn't use the U.S. Postal Service because it would be very expensive as well, probably more than the $120 price. Some of these are very heavy as well, so take those into factor before you purchase them. If you're not willing to wrap them up, don't buy them. Now, here's an interesting Jocelyn's terrestrial globe. It's a very large one, very scarce. It is extremely well marked by a very well-known company. They did not make many of these globes, so most any of them will get you some good money. It's got a very heavyweight stand. Many of these sorts will have cast iron stands to them. And if it has a cast iron stand, chances are it's worth some really good money. Now here's a really interesting one that many people aren't aware even exists. This is a portable one. It folds down. Sometimes people walk right past these not realizing that's what it is. Usually they're sleeved in a little tube, and if you don't know what that tube is, you might walk right by it. All of these go for some incredible amount of money. Just because of how fragile they are, how few of them show up. This is circa 1920-25 era. It's got the original case, just a fine example here. Now here's a really interesting one. This is solid metal. It's in excellent condition. Sometimes globes are made more so for decoration purposes than for actually using them. Kind of like this example here. It's almost like a steampunk, an industrial age as well. Now there's glass globes that look very similar to this that light up. They'll literally be a light, you can plug it in. Some of them even rotate. Some of those can go for some incredible amounts of money as well. Any of the oddball ones like this I snag up anytime I see them. Here's another interesting one. This is a smaller one, but it's cast iron stand with it. This is obviously a 19th century globe without a doubt. $800 for this small one too. So size isn't always a factor. It's age, construction, and who made it, of course. Here's another fine example of a lunar globe as well. These all can go for some incredible amount of money. Now it is marked, as you can see, it's an excellent example of a German globe. Now here's another really interesting example with a clock built into the base. Something you don't see every day. It's unique. It's made by the same company that makes many of the other ones. It's circa 1937. Many of these you can date by the construction as well as the country markings on them also. As you can see, this one went for $585 plus shipping. Now here's another really nice example. Rand McNally. It's from 1909. This one is dated, cast iron stand, probably like a school or something like that based on the size. This is fairly large at 18 inches for something like this. $500 plus shipping. Now here's a really early one from 1849. They mark it for restoration. This is a French one. Even in bad condition, if they're old enough, they still will sell. All of these could be repaired if you want to take the time or effort. Nice, fine example. These early ones like this, without all the globe marked off on it, are really what everybody wants. If this was in top-notch condition, this would sell for thousands upon thousands, especially with the base, obviously. This is missing the base, the stand, and all of that sort as well. It's still sold for $500. Another interesting example with Sputnik that rotates around it. Now this one has a motor and it actually spins the satellite Sputnik basically around it. I know it technically doesn't look like Sputnik, but it's basically the same principle on this one here. Very unique, $450 plus almost $50 to ship it. Now even if these don't work, people will still go after these because they're fairly scarce. They just don't show up very often. Always look for the legend on all of these globes, or even on a map in general. This gives you all the information you need to know. Who made it, gives you a time frame, the whole works, gives you a breakdown on what the globe designations are for certain spots, types of ground, and things like that also. You can see the motor. It's not in the best condition. It still went for some good money. It's got the cord and the whole works. Here's another unique one from the 1950s. This is an aviation-styled one as well. Now, this one has a double axis, meaning that it rotates in multiple directions. Not only does it spin, but you can flip it and rotate it and look at both poles on the globe. Most other globes only have the one position where they rotate, and that is it. And this one went for around $400. Nice example. It's unique. Any of these sorts that do not actually list countries and things like that are fairly scarce. Even some of the more common globes of these sorts will still go for some good money. Most all of the aviation ones that are vintage like this go for a few $100s or more for any of them. These are the sorts of things that I always nab up. Most globes, again, as I said, you can date them very accurately from just using your phone while you're out in the wild, just by looking at the country. These sorts may be a little harder because there's no names or country names or anything like that or designations on them. But you can pretty much determine the decade they were made in by the construction, the printing style, and the whole works. But anyway, that's what I have for you today. Well, there you have it. Hopefully that gave you some ideas, some thoughts. If you enjoyed this video, please hit that like button down below. You can also hit the bell icon to be notified if I post new content or go live. Subscribe and tell all your friends.
lets you turn things on or off from anywhere in the room. Just plug in the clapper and a television, lamp, stereo, almost anything you want to clap on and off.
Clap on, clap off, clap on, clap off, the clapper.
Clapper is available at Meyer, Perry, Hills, and Osco. Get yours today.